Guys, welcome back. I am so excited that I finally got this book. It took a long time in the mail. It had to come from Korea, I believe. You get it on Etsy, and I will leave the link in the description. This book is amazing, and I'm going to show you all the qualities that I look for in a book that gets me this excited. First of all, the name of the book, of course, is Mysteria by Anastasia Elly Koldareva. I may have pronounced that wrong. You guys know me by now. Okay, so qualities that I look for in a good book. Everybody has their own criteria of what they like in a book, and nobody is right and nobody is wrong. Mostly nobody is wrong. This is just my opinion on what I look for in the books that I enjoy doing art in. And this book definitely met my criteria in so many ways. Well, first of all, I like cute designs, and it doesn't have to be like ultra cute. I do enjoy, little fairies and stuff like that, but there are other things that I like in books. And this book is definitely of a cute design. It's got some adorable pages in it, mystical girls, and this definitely qualifies for cute design. The next thing I look for is minimal details. This book, I would say, is in the medium details, but enough details to make it really fun, but not too many details. Like if they had done the background in addition to the girl, I would not have been as happy because I want some room on the page for self-expression. And this definitely has it. Look how adorable this is. I am a reptile lover. I do love fish. I love reptiles, and it has both of them in it. Here is an adorable one with a girl in a pond. I do enjoy doing fish, and it definitely fits my criteria for something that I would color. I like realistic faces. Now, it doesn't mean that the face can't be a mermaid or a fairy with elf-like ears. That's not what I'm talking about. I like when the nose is where it's supposed to be. The lips are proportional to the eyes. I'll tell you this one. My friend, Prismatic Addict Celeste, she's going to slap my hand if I even touch this page. This one's all hers. I just know this is the perfect design for her. Prismatic Addict and I don't like doing the same pages, but we do buy the same books often enough. So I already know, Celeste, this one's yours. And I think she's going to pick this one too. I may do the eyes as a demo because those are really, really good eyes. Good quality paper. I don't like anything that resembles printer paper. It has to be cardstock, and this comes within that category of paper that I would consider good paper. It's thick. It's not overly thick, but it's thick enough that I can, if I like this picture, want to frame it, I can frame it. And so I would definitely say it falls into that. It doesn't have an ultra smooth surface, which is another thing I look at when it comes to the paper. I don't want something that's ultra smooth. If you have something that's too smooth, it doesn't hold the wax well. So I would say this is a very good texture on the page, and with enough experience, you don't even have to color on the page. You just have to touch the page to know. And here is my little chameleon. I will be doing this page. I love it. And her face is nice and realistic. Her hair, not too many details, and I can get nice and funky with the background if I want. This would make a great night scene, a day scene. It is just what I look for. This may not matter to people, but it's a plus with me. When the pages can be torn out, and I do like spiral pages. Usually the paper on a spiral is a little bit better quality because it has to be able to be torn out and not rip. So I always do look for the version of the book that does come, instead of glue bound, that does come spiral bound, or it has perforations that you could tear out. This book doesn't have perforations, but this is easy. I have a paper cutter and I can easily get the edges off if I should want to frame one of these pictures. Another thing that may not bother some people, but I look for books that don't really have writing in them. It's just a thing with me. If I wanted my pages to have writing on them, I have some books that have idiot pages like color here written in ink on the page. I don't like that. This book does not fall into that category. It is a plus for me. The next thing I really like in a book is single sides. And this book is definitely single sided. I don't mind when they put like a little picture over here on the back. It makes the book look a little bit nicer, and I do color them. They're fun little like sit in front of the television colors without having to like invest in an entire page. So I do sometimes I don't mind it, but if they're going to develop a page on the second side of the page, that's not a plus in my book. People who design these books should know that mediums bleed through and you might want to do both sides. I love these eyes. I cannot wait to put wax to this paper. This is another one I will definitely be doing. Oh, I see Celeste in this. Celeste is going to grab this one. She is the queen of wings. She picked up doing wings like nobody else I've ever seen. She does translucent wings and solid wings, and she does all these things with wings. And I know, stay away from the wings. They're hers. Here we got the cover page, and it's really nice. I never color the cover page myself. It's just not something I do, but I may consider this one. Um, they did a very good job on this. I think the cover on this is beautiful, and here it is if somebody wants to duplicate it. I believe Sammy did this one. Um, I was watching her. In fact, I think she was the one who inspired me to get this book, so we can blame that on Sammy. She did a marvelous job on this or a similar page. I don't remember if it was this exact page, but I know she did one with a fish that I just like died over and thought it was magnificent. Um, I don't like double or idiot pages. What I mean by an idiot page is don't waste my space. If you have a 40-page book, do not put in a page that I need to practice on. I have scrap paper for that. When I buy a book, I buy a book. And sometimes they tell you, oh, it's going to be a 40-page book, and then you open it up and it's 20 pages and they doubled. So that's not something that I would consider good. I think that's cheaping its way out, and it's not something I look for. Luckily, in this book, it's all single pages. I also don't like idiot words like fill in this area with color. Don't do that to me. I'm not a moron. I bought a coloring book so that I can do it. And then what they do is they put an outline. So this fish would have no art on it. It would just be an outline of a fish. And it's like, I could do that myself on a piece of scrap paper. It's not why I'm buying a book. I would have liked the paper to be slightly thicker on this cover. It's close to the actual paper. In fact, it might even be thinner than the paper, or at best, it's the same paper. I would have liked it a little bit thicker, like most books have it, but it's not going to deter me from buying this book or one that's just like it. The color of the paper does matter. Now, here we have white paper. They do make books in cream and sometimes in black. I do like a cream book. I like a black book, but I like it in the specific tones. I don't like a gray black. I like a black if I'm going to get a book with black. And I think this was a perfect, perfect white. I can get my colors nice and bright on this page. Cream is a little bit easier for beginners to color on. I give it that much because there is, the tooth is filled in with a little bit of color. So when you add the color onto the page, you won't get as many white spots. Ink color. The ink color in this book is gray. That is a plus in my eyes. Absolutely. I like gray. It's easier to make go away when I'm doing my artwork. So kudos to the person who put this book together and knew do not do black. Had this been done in black, it would not have been as nice. Whenever I do buy pages off of Etsy, and I do buy them every once in a while to print out myself, I always do the gray page or the lightest that I can find. This book hit the mark with that. There is a definite plus when the book includes ethnically diverse characters. Unfortunately, we don't get that very often. And in this book, you do. And she is a beautiful African American girl with the texture on the hair. And I hate when artists do faces that could be ethnically like, what? You know, the hair should match the face. I think the artist in this book did a fantastic job in that. She is beautiful. I cannot wait to dive into a darker skinned coloring and doing a tutorial on darker skin. So this is definitely what I've been looking for as far as an ethnic choice. Beautiful job. A lot of problems with books, and they'll have 5 or 6, 7 pages that inspire me to color. And usually that's about my limit on a book is between 5 and 10 pages, and it can have up to 90 pages. I'm going to choose the ones that really spark my interest. I could tell you with this book, I can do any one of the pages on here and be inspired to do them. I think there's so much in this book that went well above what my criteria is for a book. Clean lines, and you have no idea how important that is to me. I don't want somebody else's scratch lines on the page, and they do it. This page is nice and clean. I don't have this like where you sketch it out left on this page. And unfortunately, even in some of the better books, they will do that, and they will give up too early, or it just looks like they did 10 good pages in the book and threw the rest of it in by tearing it out of their sketch pads. Every page on here was done exactly the way it should have been. This page here, it's minimal lines, it's clean lines. Where the detail needed to be, it is. I can do the light coming in this way, I could do light coming in this way, I could do light coming in from up or above. This is what I call somebody who really knew what they were doing when it came to designing coloring pages. Okay, look at this page. Tell me she isn't gorgeous. I could see her with golden skin and dark hair, and the shading on the hair is done very minimalistically so that I can decide myself. Where they put the shade in on here is exactly where it doesn't matter. It can come from this side, that's where the darkened lines would be. Thank you. And she is an ethnic woman, which is definitely the most plus side on for me that there is in a book. Minimal shading. I love the fact this book is not ultra done. This page here, take a look. I make the decision of where the light source is going to come in. I can have the light source coming in here. I can have the light source coming down here. And the artist did not decide for me. A definite plus. No overshading. No random marks on the page with ink that I can't get out. Definitely a plus. For most people, they put the artist put the shading in exactly where they're going to need it for a beginner and give you a hint. So here, like, look underneath the nose. It's slightly darker in the exact spots that you're going to want the nose to be darker in. But there's no definitive way that I can't change that because it was done so light that if I wanted to darken up over here and make this side darker than this side, I absolutely can do it. Kudos to the artist. Realistic perspective. I love this about this book. She is sitting, I guess, near a coral reef. Her hands are larger than the objects that they should have been. She's proportional to her arms. They're well done, well drawn. This book is proportional, and I love that it's in the circle. That is a definite realistic perspective. This is the first picture I am diving in. Celeste, you can have those others. This baby is mine. This is probably going to be my first page that I color in this book. I think she is beautiful, and she's going to be so much fun because the dark hair and the kinky hair and the darker skin that I could do on her. I see her with with beautiful red lips. The only thing I would get rid of is this flower over her eye, and I will be doing that to get rid of it when I do the picture. But this page is going to be demoed by me for sure. And here we go, another. Now this one, this page, she's definitely ethnic, but she looks like she's ethnic with blue eyes, so she could be of mixed race. And I could definitely see doing the darker skin on her, the straight hair, but rich and dark, and then blue eyes on her. She looks like a model. The shell is going to be so much fun. It's not overly shaded. I could still decide on where I want my shading to go. Because it's light enough and the color is gray, I could do it realistic. This is a beautiful page. I really like the fact that the characters in this book are different. They're not related to each other. They don't have the same face. I get tired of doing the same face over and over again. And yes, Celeste, I know it's an owl. She's yours. Celeste likes her owls. So this is definitely one for Celeste. Even though I would love to do it, she loves her owls. Another thing that I don't like is sometimes you get in books that the pages just look half done. The artist didn't finish them. They gave up as the deadline came due that the publisher wanted the book, and they just did it halfway. I love this book. It has no half-done pages. Every page is unique, interesting, different. The bird, I love this bird. I may do this bird as just a single demo because I have a lot of people that like birds. So definitely the pages are all completely done. Okay, those were the pages in the book. Now I'm just on a random page. This is adorable. I think Celeste is going to choose it. We're really good to each other. I know her taste. I have a feeling that this is going to be like mine. But something I don't like, and when you have so many books, you'll notice it. If you don't have that many books, you won't notice it. Stolen designs. And I'm going to tell you this, people, and I'm not talking about colorists, I'm talking about the artists. We notice. Okay? You don't just happen to have 10 points on the page being identical and one being not identical and unique. We know when you're stealing each other's ideas. Seen it with a lot of big books. You have people who get grouped in together because their style is so similar. This artist definitely had a unique style. I've seen some of her other books, and they're cutesy, they're mythological. I will say she bumped it out of the park. She hit it out of the park with this book. I guarantee this is going to be her bestseller. And none of the pages look like any other books that are out there. Just beautiful. Properly centered designs, to me, are so important. And it drives me nuts when you have a coloring page that the most important part of the page is over here, where you're battling the spine of the book, or it's cut off at the top of the page. These are things I definitely look for in a book. If it has too many Even if I buy a book and it has too many cut off designs, or the designs are not centered properly, I will return a book. They don't interest me. I will not put my pencil to them. I will say, in this book, there are no abnormally centered designs. Kudos. This book is literally got everything I look for in a book. The last thing I look for in a design of a book is properly centered negative space. Negative space is what you see in the background. Sometimes artists will leave it really blank, and you just like, what am I going to do with it? And sometimes the artist fills it up way too much, and it distracts from the absolute design on the page. I feel that in this book, she did a marvelous job, absolutely marvelous job, of centering her negative space and not overcrowding it, so that her main point of the book, her focal point, which is obviously the girl, is going to shine no matter what you do with the background. So I like a blank background. I can do a lot with this background. Because it's in gray, I don't even have to include the circles. I can add more. I could do space and a moon or a sun, or I could do Jupiter. I don't even have to do I could put clouds in this. There's enough space here that I could do clouds if I want. And enough, it's moved over to the side. It's not going to detract from her. So the way this book is designed, perfect negative space. And I could say that not just about one page. I could say that about every page that she has. Look at this. What stops you from putting something in the background, some clouds in the background behind the birds, or just leave it blank, use your watercolors, pastels. Beautiful. Every single page is like that. Really nice. You don't even have to worry about a background in this page. This is one of the only books I own that has 100% of what I look for in a book. This book is a little bit on the expensive side. I paid $38.70 for this book. It was well worth it. If you think you pay $15 for a cheaper book, a little bit more than double what I would normally pay for an average book. But I have the entire book that I would do. There are no pages in this book that I wouldn't do. If I had to buy one book a year, this would have been this year's book so far. So that is a thought. Price point is a thought, but you get what you pay for, and I really feel I got what I paid for with this book. So I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.